Om Shanti. Good morning to everyone and all those online. Good morning. So just to share a few minutes with you about a very short trip to Madhuban. And I said to Gentleman yesterday, I'll get back to London and I'll say, was it a dream or what? So it does feel a bit like that. But it really was an honour to be there to say farewell to Brijmohan, because he really is the last, there were 4 senior brothers and he really is the final one of those of that, ilk in a way. And let's see who takes over that Secretary General role. It all happens number-wise. Is it announced already? Okay, thank you. There were discussions going on, so obviously it's now been announced. Thank you that it is Karunabhai. That was kind of expected. So it's interesting. When it was the daddies, it was known before who, the succession, in this case, a little different. And so he played such an incredible role because he really was able to make the bridge between East and West. And when he was here 2 years ago, I had travelled back with him from Manchester when he was up north. And he was telling me about his schooling and his, had a very different kind of upbringing. And I couldn't remember which school, so I asked Asha Didi now, and he went to a Montessori school at a young age, so, in his early years. And so that's a very alternative type of education. So it really gives you an insight into his character and what formed him. Because he, as I said, was always very broad-minded and very supportive of service abroad in every way. He's irreplaceable, that's for sure, totally irreplaceable. And his humour extends, his humour, amazing. I can remember one journey years ago from GRC to London, and, I like to tell jokes as well, and the whole hour or so, joke for joke, joke for joke. He told a joke, I told a joke, he did. There's not many senior brothers who you could do that with. So his humour and the way he made everything feel very light, because he was in our RC meetings all the time. And he was the bridge with the bigger yajna at that time. So I know we're going to miss his wisdom very, very, very much in this. Now, of course, Mohini Didi is there and everybody's playing their role, but he had something very unique. And it was the global summit that was taking place, and so all the main teachers were there, and so they were there in attendance. And I didn't go, the body was in ORC for 2 days, or a day and a half, then by road from ORC to Abu, up the mountain, and then there was the 4 pilgrimage places, but I didn't go for that. I thought if I do that as well, I'll be like, I don't know what. So I waited then. We all went with Sister Genti when the coffin came to Shantivan around 1 o'clock. And so we were there when they brought the coffin into, and it's a glass case, so you see everything. They don't keep it open. You put the garlands and things on top, masses and masses of garlands, and I think they were recycling them, so the next group got the same. Anyway, and I thought there was so. If he must be watching, and I said to someone, all this going on, and I'm sure he feels like jumping out of that box, He wasn't in the box at all, you're quite right, yes. But you see the scene, and because of him, you kind of see the funny side of things as well, even though it's a very sort of sacred time. And then so first where he lived, and there was yoga, and then to the conference hall, and there was a lot of, well, you know what happens in Bharat, but everybody really wanting to pay respects. And the cremation, it's somehow, kind of moving when they finally put the body on the pyre, so they take away all the, all the toppings and everything. So just very simple white sheet, and then, they put the body. And Asha Didi had lit the fire. No tradition, out of tradition, of course, it started when Baba left the body, and Dadiji was the one to light the pyre, otherwise a woman would never do it. She was strong. She did, of course, it was emotional at that point. I spent time with her the next day, and she's strong, but, all those months have taken a toll, you can see. And especially when you've looked after somebody for so long, you feel it a lot more than if you're distant. I know that myself. So, then we all were able to put our sandalwood, it's a tradition, so the sandalwood stick, and you dip it in ghee and put it on the fire. And we have so many going. We have our own cremation ground in Shantiwan. I think you know that. It's called Mukti Dham, so the place of Mukti. So we didn't stay long. It did trigger memory for me because Daddy had sent me at the time of Jagdish Bai, because Daddy couldn't go to India. And I remembered that at that time, Pandav Bhavan, of course, they carried the body from Pandav Bhavan to the cremation ground, and we were in a very silent, procession behind. And there was a group of school children, and they just went to one side, and so there was the blue uniforms and the white near the lake, quite a scene. But the reverence that is given in Bharat is really beautiful. And now we do that tradition, with the open coffin and so on. And of course, being brought up in the Jewish tradition, you, as a young child, you don't go to funerals. You it's a big taboo. Death is a taboo. And so seeing the open coffin and doing all these rituals, it's actually very, I was going to say healthy, but it's very emotionally good. It's a proper farewell. And it's a beautiful tradition to give such a farewell. Just very fortunate to be there on behalf of everybody. And, every day they offer the Bhog, and Rukmani, I wasn't present, but Asha Didi told me that in the Bhog message you would have heard the Bhog message or seen the Bhog on the day, but then the next day when they offered Bhog, she'd asked Brijmohan in the subtle region, you didn't come to Madhuban, you left directly from Delhi. And his answer, typical, he said, well, when you're in a small place, to go somewhere you have to go via, but when you're in a main city, you can go direct. So I just went. So even in the subtle regions, there's a touch of his humour there. Yes, it wasn't really sad as such, because such a wonderful life and such a wonderful service that he'd done east and west. And of course Asha Didi had been with him from the very early days, like, I don't know when she moved in the centre, must be the 70s. And so she's been with him since then, constantly. So very, very You know, so she was the one. She said he actually said to her, "Atma ka part pura ho gaya." He said the part of the soul is over. A few days before, and so it was, and the body wasn't cooperating. So it was like he decided, okay, it's time, you know. And she said he gave up. I said, no, I don't think he gave up. It's because it was time, you know, the right time to go. Because how much could he stay in that body? Although till the end, his brain, yes, she said everything was breaking down except his brain. I mean, he was absolutely alert and with it till the last, and that is amazing. That's the best thing. So he was very conscious, and so left in that way. Well, actually, he'd gone into a coma, apparently, so it's, you know, I think when that happens, the soul has already gone to the subtle regions, actually, so wouldn't feel anything with that final departure. So yes, that was the experience, and yeah, I had a chance to go to Sola. Sister Genti had to do some early morning recordings, and so it's so peaceful there. It's lovely. I think everyone's been to the solar farm, have you? If you haven't, next time, Madhuban, you must go. It's so, so beautiful and so green and so tranquil, so a real oasis. Yeah, and then meeting, you know, Mohini Ben and so on. And it's, you know, it just, 2 days, 3 days, it just puts you in a different headspace, totally. So I think must be something that was needed up there. But yes, but thanks.
Maureen, can I ask a question? So, the journey from Delhi to Abu, was it on train?
No, by car. And Nina's asking from Delhi to Abu was by car. I think it's 12, 14 hours, something like that. So it's doable. Yeah, train, it wouldn't work. And flying, what's the point, you know? So it's that's very awkward. So yes, it was by car.
Did they stop over and or change drivers?
Did they stop over or change drivers? I have no idea, because I wasn't there. But I presume they would have taken care and not have one brother driving and no pit stops for anything. I'm sure they would have done it sensibly. But you know, yeah, you just presume, obviously. Yeah. So yes, it was, so he made, and he really wanted to go to Madhuban. He really wanted to go. And he said at one point, I can just go, you don't need an air ambulance, I'll sit in a car and go. Of course, he wasn't in any fit state to go, but made the final pilgrimage eventually. So, okay, so that was just the experience, so thank you. And just lovely to be with Hansa and Devi, and they'll be here, they're coming here early December, so that's great. No, they won't be here for Christmas, because Sister Genti's going back to India on the 19th of December, so she's not here for Christmas, but she's here for the UK Christmas party, which is now on the 13th of December, and she'll be, but of course she'll be with the family, with all of us, and so that's why Hansa and Devi have to be back in order to be there for her in Daddy's cottage. So they'll be here from the, I think she said the 6th or something. Anyway, a couple of weeks with us, which is great. And she'll be celebrating her birthday here, so we must celebrate her birthday, 9th December. Okay, thank you. Om Shanti. And I'll let Chemni Ben come. Thanks.
Recap today's Murli, and then we have powerful meditation, okay? So English class is here, Hindi class is here, 2 languages, Tamil not here. Tamil? No. Tamil class is also here. Okay, so today's main thrust of the Murli? Anyone? Come in the front. Not only that, but beautifully Baba divided the Murli into 3 parts. So, do you remember?
Keep your battery charged.
Gyan, Yog, Dharana and Seva, all 4 subjects. And Baba had to say something for all of them. For Gyan, if you just have cooker Gyan, if you just repeat the knowledge like a parrot or like a cooker, which is... So then what will happen? It will not touch the hearts. So there has to be dharana, because what Baba said in the Murli, interesting, is that the cooker wakes up everyone and then goes to sleep. So then what happens? He's not able to pull himself through the day. So that was the Gyan. What was the yoga subject? The subject of yoga? Baba said, whilst you are doing any physical work, you can remember Baba. Right? You chop vegetables, you clean the floor, wash the utensils, your mind is free, remember Baba. So that was the dharana, the gyan, and then the seva, right? What was the other practical point that Baba gave today in relation? And Baba talked about serving all the souls. And the main thrust of today's Murli was purity. You must have your eyes very civil, pure. Brothers and sisters, children of Brahma, we are brothers and sisters, but also we are all connected with Shiv Baba, we are his children, so let there be purity. Unless the soul has become pure, cannot return home. Right? And so purity is the main subject. And when there is purity, there is power. When there is power, there is strength. In the beginning, Baba said you have to be like a lioness. Do not fear. Let there be fearlessness in yourself. When you say anything about Gyan, has to be fearless. Because truth was the main thing, right? You have the truth. Baba is the truth. You are the company of the truth. The true knowledge. But that also, dharana, Baba said that if you don't speak the truth, if you lie, if you are not honest, you will not have power. Right? So then if you are truthful to yourself, you have the company of the truth, you will speak the truth. But for that you have to listen to the truth. And think about that. One other thing that really stood out for me is that in the world people always say, stop being violent, stop using this language, stop doing that. But they never say that change your thoughts. It's only Baba who teaches us, work with your thoughts. Bring transformation, bring a shift in your mind, in your thoughts. So when you have changed the seeds, automatically the fruits, the leaves, everything will be flourishing. And so all the outcome will be positive. So we are working with thoughts. That's what Baba's knowledge is all about. Working. We have to work on ourselves and work with the mind. And one important dharana as a group, Baba said, you all mothers are very powerful. You can do a big outreach. You can touch many souls. We are very experienced. But then he said something else with mothers. What did Baba say? That you have to be Sherni. You are the ones who will bring the knowledge to the world. The mothers. So Baba encouraged today all the mothers. If you have children, something will, you'll find the solution so you can become free from bondages. Nirbandhan. Right? Okay? Anyone? Want to share anything? Okay, so let's sit in meditation now about charging the battery. That was the first part of the Murli. So how do we charge our battery? Consider yourself to be the soul and remember Baba. then my battery of the soul can be recharged. Okay, Om